Yeah, just a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
Just feel like our generation got to step up and start really like doing their homework.
Find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jaden Love ass.
When a legend like Oscar De La Hoya points at the rising champion of the new generation, Gervonta "Tank" Davis, it's about more than a fight. He's making a direct and public challenge between two eras. It's a gauntlet thrown down to test Tank's claim of being the sports face. De La Hoya dares him to do what today's fighters won't: break his legendary record of 5 title fights in a single year. This is more than a call-out. It's a matter of legacy, and the Golden Boy is demanding an answer.
This is a dangerous fight for Jake. Gervonta's technical expertise, his speed, his precision, the fact that he's a counter striker are dangerous facts that make me think that Jake's really got to lock in for this one. On the contrary, if Gervonta feels a couple big Jake Paul shots, it's going to be detrimental.
I think this is going to be one of those ones that gets a real good racial split. I think it's going to be some real black versus white shit.
Hey, Jake's scared, man.
Unboxing.
I saw it in Jake's face. Jake's scared, bro.
Saya Center in Miami, Florida.
More importantly, Tank's on. Gervonta is an animal.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think.
He's just too small.
It's just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think. My thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
This is a dangerous fight for Jake. Gervonta's technical skill, his speed, his accuracy, the fact he's a counter-striker, these are dangerous factors that make me think Jake really has to lock in. On the other hand, if Gervonta takes a couple of Jake Paul's big shots, it could be damaging. I think this fight will create a strong racial split. It's going to be real black versus white energy, dude. Hey, Jake's scared, man. Boxing, I saw it in Jake's face. Jake's scared, bro. Saya Center in Miami, Florida. More importantly, Gervonta is a true animal. I got to ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, does Davis even stand a chance? Gervonta is a great boxer, but he won't be able to. So, you got Jake Paul by knockout? No, I don't pick anyone, but I just think he's too small. It's just, I don't want to beat someone that's small. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose anyone else in there. No point in the fight. It's actually a great fight. I'm not hating, but my thoughts are let's just watch and see.
And that's what it takes. Keep him busy. Tank Davis is not the face of boxing because he doesn't fight often. He fights once a year. And he's probably one of the best talents in the world. I love Tank Davis. I love watching him fight. I love when he goes in the ring and just demonstrates power and speed and he doesn't give a shit. I love that. But he has to fight more often. We want to see Tank fight 3-4 times a year. Tank Davis, I dare you to break my record. 5 world title fights in 1 year. Let's go.
Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. I know on Instagram you called it a circus.
Yeah, this is boxing is slowly turning into the WWE. That's what I think.
Does Tank Davis have a chance?
Yes, but
yeah?
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me questions like that again.
Oscar De La Hoya isn't content to let his records fade away. De La Hoya openly challenged Gervonta Davis to break his own mark: 5 world title fights within 12 months.
I wouldn't have loved to fight Pacquiao again because he kicked my ass. So. But yeah, there were many fighters out there who I would have loved to fight 2 or 3 times.
You know what? So you had enough of Pacquiao is what you're saying.
Oh, trust me. Right when I walked into the ring, I had enough of Pacquiao.
You thought that when you got in the ring?
Oh, well, Rich, this documentary, my gosh, it's sad too at the end because it shows the whole Pacquiao situation. I was getting beat up in training camp when preparing for Pacquiao. So I knew that was the end already for me. because Pacquiao was just coming up.
Yeah.
Pacquiao was like the star in the making, but what really screwed up my whole training for that fight was I started drinking heavy during training camp, and nobody knew. Oh yeah. I mean, it gets so I was literally a dead man walking into the ring.
In today's era, where elite fighters are lucky to step in the ring twice a year, the demand seems insane. It's a challenge designed to provoke, to test the drive and consistency of a modern champion. De La Hoya framed it as a call to return to boxing's golden age, when the best fought the best often and without hesitation. But to grasp the weight of this dare, you have to revisit the year the Golden Boy himself forged that record in fire. What he accomplished then set a bar that feels unreachable today.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over with.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh wow, so he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay, so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
You say you want to be a world champion. You say you want to take this sport serious. Then take it serious. This is not a popularity contest. I'm actually praising Jake Paul here to take this serious because I really truly feel if he fights the right fights and takes the right path to that world title, he can actually get there. I'm not sure, because it's up to him if he can win it, but he can get there. But he's not going to get there.
The year was 1997, and Oscar De La Hoya wasn't just a fighter, he was a phenomenon. He launched a campaign that became the stuff of legend. It started with a clash against pound-for-pound defensive genius Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Many thought he would lose, yet he left with the title. He didn't stop there. He defended his belt against the era's best contenders, one after another. He fought David Kamau, then the legendary Hector Macho Camacho, followed by Wilfredo Rivera. Each fight carried high stakes, a test against a new style and a fresh threat. He was a champion who acted like one, proving his mettle against anyone who stepped up. That historic run sealed his legacy.
Video of you and Devin Haney sparring, people were going crazy over it. He was just a teen when that happened. How do you feel like his boxing skills have improved since?
I think he was best on his game when he was that age. I think he was like 17. I wasn't that much older than him. I think we probably like 3 years older, apart. But I feel as though he slowed down. All that partying and drinking and stuff slowed him down.
Thank you so much.
Floyd, when you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? Who you would put where?
As of right now, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel at the 135 would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 would be hands down Shakur Stevens.
You know Vasily Lomachenko, the boxer? Yeah. His dad made him do Ukrainian dance for 2 years, made him stop boxing. And now if you watch him fight, his footwork is insane. Like he's standing in front of a guy and then he'll like switch and throw a jab and circle off to his left and catch him again and circle off to his right. The guy does not know where the fuck he is. Yeah.
But De La Hoya's challenge conveniently ignores the harsh reality of the world Gervonta Davis faces in late 2025. This isn't only about a fighter's willingness. It's about the dilemma of modern champions. The division is filled with undefeated sharks like the technical master Shakur Stevenson and undisputed King Devin Haney. Even the ghost of Vasily Lomachenko still lingers over the top tier.
I just feel like our generation got to step up and start really like doing their homework.
But don't you believe that when it's all said and done, they will be able to respect it?
For sure. Because what they really respect is.
Yeah.
That's what they like. I disagree with that logic too. Like I'm just like a different type of person to where I understand like boxing is a sport. So guys gonna go in there and they gonna lose. And I know I was just popping a lot of shit about being undefeated earlier. So they gonna come back and try to talk about that. But I'm like being for real on this. Boxing, one guy has to lose. And when you go against the best, and you are the best too, but somebody was just a little bit better, you gonna lose. So it comes with the sport. All the greats have losses. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns. They was in the era where everybody fought everybody, so everybody had losses. So truthfully, I don't think boxing should be a way where guys just hang on to this fucking undefeated logic that has to fucking keep going, and everybody only likes the undefeated.
Securing a contract with just one of these rivals can take a full year of political maneuvering and network battles.
De La Hoya's demand isn't simply a challenge, it's a fantasy. It deliberately overlooks how complex the business of boxing has become. And that business has been fundamentally transformed.
When two personalities come into the ring together and create the perfect storm. And that's exactly what they're gonna do on April 22nd, is create the perfect storm. And yeah, a lot of guys obviously know I'm with my guy, you know? And this is the reason why we're gonna bring back those glory days, those big pay-per-view glory days, because of this guy right here, Ryan Garcia. So April 22nd, these two guys here are gonna battle it out, they're gonna fight, and I can't do any talking whatsoever because I'm not gonna fight for them, and they gotta do the job themselves. But that's the beauty, they wanted this fight. Nobody else. Ryan Garcia wanted this fight years ago. And now it's here, April 22nd, so.
The reason champions no longer fight 5 times per year isn't that they lack courage. It's because the financial structure has been rebuilt. De La Hoya's era was bankrolled by network giants like HBO, which paid champions generously to stay active and grow their brand.
Chilling, ready for the big fight, and it's on. Everybody made weight, but you know what's crazy is that the weight was never ever an issue. Ryan Garcia made it with no problem. But it goes to show you the character of Gervonta's team. No confidence whatsoever. Think about it. You got to put all these clauses and this and that and rehydration clause, and to make sure that Ryan doesn't, gain a single ounce after certain pounds. Like, come on, guys. No confidence whatsoever.
Behind the scenes of the Garcias-Davis showdown, another battle unfolded. The most critical detail, one many believe decided the fight before the first punch, was a ruthless contractual condition called the rehydration clause.
I almost had his ass in the second. But, I was too weak. I knew I was going to lose in the back room. I had no power. I had no mind. I was dehydrated. It was really bad. I should actually die cutting that weight. I should have. I really, but God protected me because I was blistering out of my mouth. I had no spit. It hurt every day to make that weight. I shook. I was shaking in the bed like shit. It was crazy.
This clause declared that Ryan Garcia could not exceed a set weight on the morning of the fight, long after the official weigh-in. For a fighter already draining himself to hit the catch weight, it was a devastating handicap.
Do you ever think about the tank fight, or is that just in the past?
I mean, what can I do? I did everything I could to try to propel boxing forward. That shit was boring. I took a rehydration clause where you can't gain more than 10 pounds after the weight. I literally, I stepped into the ring with a separated rib, and this is not an excuse, but I was severely dehydrated, so anything I got touched with affected me in the ring when I was sparring. It is what it is, but I still said to myself, I already committed to this. I said I'm gonna do it, and that's what I'm gonna do.
It was crafted to leave him weakened, stripping away his natural size and power advantages. Many insiders called it a classic tactic, a strategic masterpiece from Davis's mentor's playbook. It guaranteed Tank would face a reduced version of his rival. The clause worked flawlessly. Garcia looked like a shadow of himself, and Davis claimed the win. But what unfolded after the final bell revealed a deep crack within the foundation of Golden Boy Promotions.
We are extremely excited and proud that Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis proved that they're pay-per-view stars, and it's amazing how doing over 1 million homes it's almost unheard of. So it's incredible to be, and humbling to once again Golden Boy being part of record-breaking numbers, and that's what.
It was just part of just me not, being as sharp as I could be. I just didn't really throw anything, to be honest. I mean, I was just throwing jabs and moving around. I just didn't feel there, didn't feel there at all. And, it wasn't a part of our game plan at all. Derek had a great game plan. There was a lot of opportunities there, especially when Rollies was going back. I just didn't let my hands go in any way, shape, or form. That was simple as that.
In the aftermath of Ryan Garcia's first career loss, he needed his team, his promoter, his mentor. But when Garcia walked into the post-fight press conference to face the world's media, one figure was glaringly absent: Oscar De La Hoya. The fallout was swift and severe. Garcia openly called out his promoter, speaking of betrayal and abandonment. The bond between fighter and promoter appeared shattered overnight.
If Ryan Garcia loses to Tank Davis, that doesn't mean it's the end of Ryan Garcia's career. But that may mean that it's the end of big fights for Golden Boy Promotions.
I do want to clarify why Bernard Hopkins and I weren't at the post-fight press conference. First of all, Bernard Hopkins was accused during the weigh-in of having testosterone cream on his hands and touching Gervonta Davis when he only wanted to help him because he was going to fall off the stage. So PBC, Gervonta's promoter, banned him from everything. He couldn't get inside the ring. He couldn't do anything during the promotion. And so as for myself, my security team told me, boss, we got to get the out of here because I received death threats. You guys don't know this. I received death threats throughout the whole week, and they just said it was simply too dangerous, so we got out of there.
This public feud could not have come at a worse moment for De La Hoya, adding another layer to his potential motives: the fight for corporate survival.
Let's take a trip down memory lane. So 10 years ago, almost to the day, I had several traders in my office. Douches. My company, Golden Boy Promotions, built all the top PBC fighters, including Errol Spence, Deontay Wilder, the Charlo brothers, Danny Garcia, Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, the list goes on. But these disloyal douches in my office waited for my fighters' contracts to expire, and they took them over to the new startup promotional company called PBC. Hundreds of millions of dollars were raised, and PBC tried to take over the entire boxing industry. And they failed miserably. All the fighters they stole from us were on track to have Hall of Fame careers with the guidance of Golden Boy. And now look at them. They fight once every 3 years. PBC ruined their careers. It is a sinking ship over there. Karma takes a long time, but it always...
Oscar, he can't really take anything back. So he can slag me off for years on Twitter, and I've never really said anything. And I just made a comment about someone asked me about his behaviour around Ryan Garcia, and I just gave him my opinion, and he threw his toys out the pram. He thinks that maybe I'm trying to poach Ryan Garcia. I've never had any conversations with Ryan Garcia. Never had any conversations with Lupe about signing him. So I guess in the Ryan Garcia lane, I'm not in it. But I'm swerving in every other lane, so watch the out.
Golden Boy Promotions has been on the defensive for years. First came the loss of their generational cash cow, Canelo Alvarez. Then their relationship with their next big attraction, Ryan Garcia, collapsed in the most public way imaginable. It left Golden Boy without a flagship fighter capable of headlining major pay-per-views.
That you beat Floyd in that fight. Sure. Obviously, that might have been one of the last fights that I've been to. I was at that fight. Okay. Why do you feel you won that fight?
When you're a fighter inside the ring, when that final bell rings, you know it in your heart, in your gut. And physically, if you won or you lost, you just feel it. It's a sensation. And I just felt it. Right. Whether I was wrong or whether I'm right, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I fought against the very best in Floyd Mayweather. Younger, in his prime, just, undefeated. And I was over the hill, tons of injuries. So I was pretty proud with what I accomplished that night. So maybe I was convincing myself that I won, but I did feel it physically and mentally that I did enough.
Is it coincidence that De La Hoya's fixation on Gervonta Davis, the sport's current box office star, has grown stronger? His provocations might not be just about legacy or revenge. They may be a desperate business play to link his company to the biggest attraction possible. It's a fight for relevance in a world where he no longer holds the winning cards. Hovering over every negotiation, every press conference, every post on social media is the looming shadow of one man, Floyd Mayweather Jr. The rivalry between De La Hoya and Mayweather is legendary, a bitter feud that defined an era and produced one of the highest-grossing fights in history. De La Hoya lost that fight, and it seems he never truly moved on.
Who would you say currently is the face of boxing?
You still have to crown Canelo Alvarez the face of boxing, but Saturday night, you're going to see kind of like the passing of the torch. The winner of this fight Saturday will become the face of boxing. There's no doubt about it. If Gervonta wins in a spectacular fashion, he's the face of boxing. If Ryan wins in a dramatic fashion, then he's the face of boxing. So it can go.
Gervonta Davis is not just another champion. He is Floyd's chosen protege, the heir to the TMT empire. Every move De La Hoya makes against Tank is also a strike at Floyd. By questioning Davis's activity, he's challenging the modern boxing model that Mayweather perfected. This is not simply promotion, it is a proxy war. It is De La Hoya's chance to score a victory over his old nemesis. This tangled web of motives has left the boxing world deeply divided.
Big figure in the world of boxing right now that it seems like you're also at some days at odds with, and that's with Turkey. Al-Sheikh, it's actually only because you said something about Canelo and Bud's fight is starting in a day, and then he said Oscar's making that up. Talk to me about that. What was that whole thing about?
No, so I read somewhere that the fight was taking place during the day. Okay. So I think I repeated it on Clapback, or I mentioned it on Clapback. Yeah, that was it. But no, me and Turkey are cool.
Because you guys work together.
He's doing great things for boxing. What he's doing is bringing more visibility to the sport, you know, mainstream media and all that. And so it's great for the sport, man. I love boxing. Man, I will die for boxing.
You think boxing needed somebody like him?
I think boxing, look, boxing has always had people come in with a lot of money and try to change the sport and saying that they're the savior and this and that. But look, what Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing, he has passion. That's the difference with all the other businessmen that have come in with a lot of money and try to change everything. I think the fact that Turkey has the passion for the sport, he might be onto something.
He's a real fight fan.
He's a fight fan. He bought Ring magazine from me.
Right.
That's how much he loves the sport. So imagine that.
Right.
Imagine that. I think that what Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing is just, it's good. It can't be bad. It's great for boxing. I think that making those big matchups, giving the fighters a platform, an opportunity, you know, making the tough fights happen, you know, because he's throwing money at him. I think it's a great thing.
Before you guys, you know, developed a rapport, you were kind of had this energy like, man, nobody's coming into this sport to change it. So what was your biggest misconception of him after, like, having a real conversation with him? What were you surprised about?
I think there was no misconception. I think it was, I think sitting down and talking to him and knowing the passion he has for boxing, it's actually pretty admirable. I like that.
Is Oscar De La Hoya a promoter or merely a provocateur? It's hard to ignore that De La Hoya is a man who has fought his share of battles outside the ring. A life of extraordinary triumphs and very public struggles.
Saw your old pal Oscar De La Hoya's videos of him dancing in...
Unfortunately, yes, I did see those, yes. And a new one came out today. It's... yeah.
I didn't see it.
Wow.
It was for cancer awareness, apparently. It's for a good cause.
What's that?
His videos were to raise awareness about cancer. It was for a good cause.
He definitely did that. He raised some awareness.
I just wanted to ask...
Some see his constant media presence and provocative remarks as the actions of a man craving the spotlight. A way to remain relevant in a sport that defines his very identity.
Can you blame a man for taking that opportunity? Because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family.
Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that. Like,
Okay.
it just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money, or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So, as a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
Your
and
pride
as
will
a
get in the way.
fighter with my integrity.
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever made. You think you might consider doing the same thing, right?
I would, but you gotta also realize, I know that it's not going nowhere. Like, the
Right.
fight ain't gonna go nowhere. Like, say, because if I really believe in myself,
Right.
and I wholeheartedly think, like, if we fight again, I'm gonna win this fight.
That fight still be there around the
After
corner.
I beat this motherfucker, where you at?
Yeah.
The fight's still there. It's not gonna go nowhere. But if I have a 50-50 thought process to
doubt.
where it's like,
Right.
yeah, I got doubt in my brain, I may be like, all right, fuck it.
In his case, it might be that he's tired of fighting anyway. He's leaning towards retiring
Yeah,
anyway.
let's cash out.
So he's just going to get that money.
Yeah, that's what it looked.
They believe he is exploiting Gervonta Davis's name to draw clicks, a master at keeping himself in the headlines.
How is training for something like this? Obviously, smaller guy. How was this in the training aspect, Jake?
Yeah, there's a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up, warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds.
one thing.
I got
If
the
I find
8-year-olds in there.
If I
and,
find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. You know, he laughing.
what are you talking about?
What
does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't gotta say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'ma show you and him. Bet.
They believe he is exploiting Gervonta Davis's name to draw clicks, a master at keeping himself in the headlines.
Hey! Jake scared, man.
Unboxing.
I saw it in Jake's face. Jake scared, bro.
Saya Center in Miami, Florida.
More importantly, Tank saw. Gervonta is an animal for real. He's from B-More. All the games he plays, how he's wired, how he thinks, is not how Jake thinks. Jake is a showman. On top of that, in the eyes of Tank, Jake saw a fighter. First, he looked at him to see, let me see his reach. Remember when he tapped under his arm? Let me see if I can touch you. See his reach with his stance. Jake is giving too much away. Then he pushed him to see how he is emotionally. He checked him out physically. Now he's checking him out emotionally, see if he's rattled. See, when it's all said and done, the whole talking shit goes out the window. Jake's scared. And let me tell you this too. Tank and Jake, and I'm looking at him, Tank can reach him too. He reached Ryan Garcia. He reached Barrios. I was like, he ain't gonna be able to reach him. He knows he's gonna reach him.
Adding to the confusion are De La Hoya's own wildly conflicting statements about Gervonta Davis. One day he declares that the winner of Garcia versus Davis will be the undisputed face of boxing. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, he does a full reversal and dismisses Davis as not being the face of boxing. This constant shift in narrative is baffling.
Too much right now. I don't want to say too much, but I definitely want to, put on a great show come November the 14th and make sure that I, show him what I'm about.
What do you think is going to happen in the fight, genuinely?
What I think? You gotta wait and see.
Yeah, you're boring as fuck, man. My whole family was texting me. I just want to apologize to the audience for this guy. Like, I'm not always the one that had to sell the fights. My whole family texted me.
I kick ass for real. What you do?
Is it true indecision, or a calculated ploy to keep everyone unsettled? By both elevating and diminishing Davis, De La Hoya ensures he stays at the center of discussion, pulling the strings of the storyline like a seasoned puppeteer.
Let me tell you something that you either don't know or not willing to admit. After November 14th, there is a huge possibility that Gervonta "Tank" Davis will be the biggest name in the boxing world. And number two, he could quite possibly be every boxing fan's hero. Though Jake Paul is definitely appreciated by the boxing world when it comes to what he is giving to the sport, especially women's box. But Jake Paul, the fighter, people are over this shit. And if Gervonta "Tank" Davis stops that, knocking out Jake Paul, he will become a boxing hero.
So where does this leave Gervonta Davis? He stands at a monumental crossroads, trapped in a game played by legends of a bygone era. On one path, he can tune out the noise, follow the lucrative but less active road of the modern boxing economy, making smart business choices to protect his undefeated record and maximize his earnings against the division's sharks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Knockout Voyage for more amazing boxing content. Stay tuned for the next big fight.